You are looking at a mathematical symbol. That simple letter X represents the vast unknown, a mystery waiting to be solved. But have you ever stopped to wonder where that X actually comes from? Every time you sit in a modern classroom or witness a scientist calculating the path of a spaceship, you are witnessing the direct legacy of a revolution that happened over 12 centuries ago. This is not just a math tutorial or a list of dry rules. This is the story of how an entire way of understanding the reality around us was created from scratch. In a world of chaos, one man decided to find the logic hidden within nature. Imagine trying to solve the secrets of the universe when the tools you have are completely missing. We take for granted the calculations that allow us to build skyscrapers and send data across the globe. But without a scholar born in the ancient East, our modern digital world would simply not exist. Travel back now to discover how one man's vision redefined what was possible for humanity. Let us travel back to the late 8th century, to the glorious city of Baghdad. This was a city at the absolute center of the world, where trade routes and ancient ideas collided under the golden sun. At the heart of this metropolis stood the House of Wisdom, a legendary library and research center that invited the smartest minds from every continent. Here, a scholar named Muhammad ibn Musa Al-Khwarizmi spent his days among thousands of parchment scrolls, driven by a curiosity that knew no bounds. He lived during the Islamic Golden Age, a time when kings valued books as much as gold, and scientific discovery was a matter of state importance. Every shipment from distant lands brought new texts and maps for analysis. Al-Khwarizmi was not just reading. He was synthesizing Indian, Greek, and Persian math to invent something entirely different. He saw that merchants and farmers were struggling with daily tasks because they lacked a unified system. Trade was not just about spices, it was about the logic of decimals. Al-Khwarizmi realized that human progress needed a universal language to calculate inheritance, irrigation, and profit. Baghdad was the ultimate forge for human intellect. Around the year 820, Al-Khwarizmi published a book that would change civilization forever. Its title is legendary, Al-Kitab al-Mukhtasar fi Hisab al-Jabr wal-Muqabala. In English, we know it as the compendious book on calculation by completion and balancing. This was the moment history truly shifted. The word al-Jabr, meaning the restoration of parts, was used to describe shifting terms across an equation to achieve balance. This is the origin of the word algebra. Al-Khwarizmi moved math from being a series of isolated tricks into a logical, systematic science. He showed that unknown variables are part of a dynamic dance of balance and logic. By introducing Hindu-Arabic numerals and the revolutionary concept of zero to the wider world, he gave us the base 10 system we use today. Before his work, people counted on fingers or used heavy Roman numerals. He gave us a language of shortcuts that made human calculation thousands of times faster. He was building the skeleton of our future. He provided the first clear steps to solve complex equations. It changed how we see numbers from mere shapes into keys of pure potential. But algebra was only the start of his global influence. This new mathematics was actually the secret key that unlocked the vault of the stars. Al-Khwarizmi turned his focus toward the heavens, creating charts that predicted the positions of the sun, the moon, and the planets. His new methods allowed sailors to find their coordinates on the open ocean by calculating longitude and latitude with new precision. He even refined the maps of the known world, correcting geographic measurements of the ancient Greeks. This was the first true marriage of formal logic and physical space. Without the ability to balance equations, measuring the distance across a sea was just dangerous guesswork. He provided the geometric proofs that secured the future of human exploration. These were not just drawings in the sand, they were the essential foundation of global trade. He proved that mathematics is the grammar with which the natural universe was written. If you pronounce the name Al-Khwarizmi slowly, it might start to sound familiar. When his manuscripts were translated into Latin centuries later, his name was turned into a word that rules our modern lives, algorithmy. This is the father of the word algorithm. It is impossible to overstate how massive this realization was for the trajectory of humanity. An algorithm is essentially a recipe for thought, a set of clearly defined rules used to solve a specific problem. Al-Khwarizmi was the first to formalize these repeatable step-by-step procedures. He realized that if you can write down the logic of a solution, Anyone elsewhere can follow it to reach the same result every time. This concept is the heart of every technology we use. Long before there were screens or silicon chips, Al-Khwarizmi was writing the software for the human brain. He taught us that procedures are powerful and that complex problems can be broken down into repeatable actions. This shift allowed future engineers to design calculators and eventually universal computers. We praise the digital pioneers, but they were building on a floor constructed by a scholar in Baghdad. Today, we live in a world defined entirely by the legacy of Al-Khwarizmi. Consider the computer or phone you are using right now. Every pixel on your screen and every signal traveling through the air is powered by billions of calculations happening every microsecond. These processes are performed by algorithms, the direct descendants of the man whose name they carry. When you ask an AI to answer a question or process a task, it is using his mathematical rules of equation balancing to find the right answer. Without the scholars of the House of Wisdom, we might still be living in an age of fragmented and lost knowledge. Their passion for translation and invention created the bridge to our digital future. His math reached Europe, helped fuel the Renaissance, and paved the highway to industrialization. He showed us that science has no borders, and the pursuit of truth belongs to everyone. Next time you resolve a problem or open an app, think of the genius in Baghdad who saw a challenge and created a whole world. He didn't just invent algebra, he gave us modern life. From the Library of Baghdad to the servers of tomorrow, his spirit of discovery remains the secret ghost in our machines. His discoveries are the invisible heartbeat of our global civilization.